Hello, today I'm doing a video about retro assembly and how it works and what I like using it for. And what it is a retro video game cloud service that's completely self-hosted on my unraid server or any server that you have that you could set up through Docker. Um, and you could play retro games straight on your phone, and you have options like arcade or Atari, Linux, Game Boy, NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, PC Engine, Neo Geo Pocket, pretty much all the older stuff, Wonder Swan, and it's a retro game cloud service that you run yourself. And I just want to demonstrate how I use it and what I use it for. And how I think it's great that something like this you could just self-host and create users, and each person can save their own games, and you basically can save from your phone onto playing on your laptop to playing on anything that's a web browser, from desktops to just about anything. And you can install it basically as an app through what I do is through a Cloudflare tunnel, have it set up right on the phone. You install it, add it to the home screen, and it pops up just like an application. And it's just an awesome service I think more people need to know about, and another awesome self-hosting thing that's for retro video games. Yeah, and let me check it out, and then I'll show you a bit about it and how it works, how it functions, and how well it is, and who it's for and stuff. So let's check that out. I just wanted to do a quick demonstration. This is what I'm running retro assembly from, and yeah, which is my unraid machine. And yeah, I go through web UI, and then it's the same kind of setup and everything as is everywhere else. And it's kind of just an overview, like it's easy to look at on the unraid web UI, compared to the phone. And you could look at whatever systems you're trying to get to, add ROMs, adjust things. There's also like um, settings for each emulator. So you can go to settings, and then you can go to which ones you want active too. Like you don't have to have all of them active, or if you only want some of them active, or whatever. And they just recently added PlayStation, and I don't know, it's pretty rough, and they have to be in CHD format, but that's the newest update. They added PlayStation, but there's Game and Watch. There's other ones I don't like. I don't have a ton of games for or anything. But then you can also mess with inputs per um, per emulator, and then emulation. You can adjust settings here, and this is different per um, one that you choose, and then you could pick different emulators if you choose, and you can have BIOS uploaded if necessary. For a lot of the older systems, you don't really need it, but yeah, you can you can do that technically, and you can add users. You can add change your password if you want. Um, yeah, and it's some cool settings in here as well, that I would rather adjust on the computer anyways when you're looking through stuff on the computer, and whatever else you're trying to run. Like I said, this is mostly for like older style games, and to me, like slower paced stuff, but like faster paced stuff seems to work depending. If you're not casting, I think it works better, but this works pretty good. And I think this retro assembly being self hosted is pretty awesome. There's nothing too crazy about it, and like you could pick up the game right where I left it from upstairs when I was casting it earlier. It's the same exact spot. So this is what retro assembly looks like on the phone. And you can see you can kind of go to games category, or you can just click on whatever system you prefer and then find you a game, and really that's about it. Like, you load it up and call it a day. I go check out I don't know what game to click. I'll just pick random game. And you're right in a Game Boy game. These are the controls you got. And you could pretty much pause. You could do a save state if you want, and then always save and exit. And you can pick that up anywhere you go. Now you could move on to, like, say I'm in the mood for an NES game, right? I don't have a ton of NES games on here, but I have a few. Like classic Mega Man 2. You're like, yeah, let's play some Mega Man 2 with the awful cover. Mega Man 2 on NES. And then you're just loading up a different game. Right there, self-hosting. Yeah, and then you could do it, like I said, save states, save and exit, and you could really pick that up at any time you want. And it's kind of the same for any system. You have PC Engine, you have Super Nintendo, and really just about any of the old retro systems you can pull up and play just about any game. Obviously add your own ROMs, whatever you like, right? Game Gear. I mean, it's mostly for, like, older stuff that's like you might not have on hand, or you have the games or something, but you haven't played these in a long time, or you just want to pick up a game really quickly. Like, yeah, you know what? I'll pick up a game real quick. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the phone, and I show using a controller as well in a different way. So we'll check that out. Okay, I wanted to demonstrate retro assembly working with a phone, and then also I have this 8-bit DOE microcontroller, and I want to show you how that works while casting, which I'm casting to my TV now, and then the controller is hooked up to my phone via Bluetooth. So we're going to continue right where we left off earlier, and then I like to put the phone sideways so that you really get a good view of, well, I died there, but you can see that indeed, obviously this is not ideal to see, but It's all running straight off the phone to my TV. And you could jump, you could do everything you need to do in the game. And it's a great way to play as well. Now, when you are casting, there is significant lag. It's not like crazy, like completely unplayable, but there's lag. And especially for these older games, right? Yeah, I'll kind of demonstrate how to play that on with a controller and with your phone, and you just cast it to the TV. Just using a Google Chromecast. So, yeah. Okay, and this is Retro Assembly on my laptop, and it's under the Chrome browser. I normally never use Chrome on my Linux laptop, but for Retro Assembly, Chrome works significantly better. So if you're using web browsers, Chrome works better than Firefox. Chromium based anyways. This is the login screen, and I would just log in. And then I'm just like how I was on my phone, how I was on desktop, and the web UI for unraid. It's all there. Just about the same. So just to demonstrate here, I'm just using this 8-bit DOE controller here. Just Ultimate C, I believe it was called, and it's kind of the same concept here. Plays Mega Man 2, and you know, you got controllers, multiple controller support. On laptop, I literally just plug it in, and that's it. Like, you're good to go. And yeah, all the same features and everything of you being on mobile, being on really anything that you're trying is like emulation just seems to work. And then it's all the same similar type stuff. Okay, and then that was a demonstration of Retro Assembly, kind of showing a little bit of the side of self-hosting on Unraid, a little bit of what that's about, and then I do have my own domain, of course, and then I do a Cloudflare tunnel to that service. You upload whatever ROMs you have, of course, legally, and then you can play all of your retro games, pretty much anything prior to PlayStation 1. They did just release, like, the newest update is PS1, and I didn't demonstrate that today because I feel like it's not completely ready, and it has to be in CHD files, which not a super fan of. It's not just .q, .bin, and you're good to go. I think there's valid reasons to play anything newer than like PlayStation 1 and so on something that's like not web browser based, like a Steam Deck or like an Android device. Even I know even a lot of Android phones or iPhone stuff, you can run like PlayStation 1, even PlayStation 2 maybe. But I know on Steam Deck you can run even newer stuff, Xbox and Saturn, Dreamcast, everything. But this is not really like to replace. I believe this is to just like, hey, you don't want to scroll on your phone, so maybe I want to pop up a Atari game for 5 minutes. Maybe you're waiting in line for something 10-15 minutes, whatever, right? Hey, I want to play a real Game Boy game, a real Game Boy Advance game, or I'm continuing a game from, I want to play it on my laptop. But when I'm away from home and I don't have my laptop on me, may I want to play for 20 minutes on my phone to progress a story or just random playing old school games. I think Retro Assembly is a pretty awesome service. I know there is other ones that are similar or what work in a web-based browser, but so far I've been really enjoying retro assembly. I've been using it for like maybe probably at least a month or two, and you can set up different users and set up their passwords. And I like about this that there's no subscriptions, there's no signing up with email addresses really. There's no paid something. There's no really privacy concerns because it's going through your own server. You're hosting your own database and everything, and all your save states. I do know that it works better in Chrome browsers compared to Firefox, and also it is it has controller support. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that is like I've noticed while using it with issues or problems. Casting to TV, as demonstrated, it does work. I think it's a little laggy. I know I said earlier that it's like, oh, it's significant lag. It's playable in a lot of slower paced games and everything. Like I wouldn't necessarily want to play a fighting game that way while you're hosting it from a server to your phone to casting it onto another device. But it does work. I'm not 100% sure if two-player works. I believe it does if you just connect two different controllers to your phone or whatever. It should work, but I didn't test that here. And I think this is an awesome cloud retro game server that you can run on your own hardware. If you have even a small mini desktop, or if you have a big server or a server rack or whatever, if you're running unraid or you're running Proxmox or you're doing something Ubuntu server or even probably Windows stuff, I imagine this could work and run on that as well. And it's just something I've been like messing with and kind of playing with for the last couple weeks to a month, or yeah, probably about a month and a half. And it's something I've been enjoying. I've liked it where it's just like it's really casual gaming. I don't think it replaces any main devices that there is. If there's any handhelds out there, that I know there's like the AN Thor and there's multiple other Android devices and that are like pretty powerful that could run things. This doesn't, I don't think this replaces it. I think this is just a substitute for if you want to play some retro games and you want to set up users and give them access to a handful of games across multiple systems. And it's like, you're not like, oh my god, hardcore gaming. No, it's like hooking up a tiny controller to and just enjoying some games for, you know, whenever you got convenience and pick up on any web browser based device, I think is awesome. And installing it on your phone like as an app, do PWA, I believe it's called, where it's like it's not an application but it'll run as an application on your phone from a website. So that's been really awesome, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it, demonstrate, and show it off a little bit. I think they're making great progress, and I know there's other services similar or like it, like ROMM, or there's an emulator.js. There's other ones that are similar, or they do things a little differently. But for me, this was easiest to run on a Docker container and just get set up and running and just connect to all wherever your files or ROM files are. And yeah, I think it's an awesome way to play some retro games. So thank you for checking out the video.